Oh, hello there, Tenno, and welcome to another little episode today looking at the insanity that is the Plague Star event and the absolute bonkers behaviour it has induced in some of our fellow gamers. Now, rest assured, you aren't watching a meta bro here, but I have dabbled a little, so I will show you a couple of my builds, what I've been up to, and we're going to explain why, oh why, some people are grinding out 40 plus hemocytes in a day, because they are completely insane. I have chaptered up the video for your ease, so feel free to skip among them. And before we get into it, my darlings, I really need your help. I need you to hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't. We're trying to hit 10k subs before 2026 rolls round, and I'm clearly insane myself, but I literally can't do it without you, so hook a girl up, will ya? So what is the Plague Star event? Well, are you familiar with giant space boils? No? Why ever not? We are over here in the world of Warframe after all, and Cystoliths is being attacked by a giant one, now and again, like every 1 or 2 years. Operation Plague Star is a recurring event introduced in 2017, where players are tasked to destroy an infested meteorite that has crashed into the plains of Eidolon, with its passengers threatening to overwhelm both Ostron and Grineer alike. And what do you need to know? Well, different mission tiers require different materials to start, and this all depends if you've done it before. If you haven't, you have to start at tier 1. The Plague Star has no prerequisites to start, and it gives 1025 standing. The second tier, opened once you've completed the first one a couple of times, requires both Eidolon, Phylaxis and infested catalysts to start, and it gives 3200 standing. This is the advanced one. So once you've done the first one a couple of times, you are then going to go and buy the Eidolon Phylaxis from Nakak. That is purchasable from her Operational Supply Syndicate items. Then you're going to build it in your foundry, and you're going to go and get your infested catalysts from your clan biolab research, and also you need to build it in your foundry. However, you do not need to equip these anywhere, you just have to have them built. Just claim them from your foundry and think no more of it. And then you have the third version, which is basically the advanced one, exactly the same, however it's steel path modified. So you get slightly better rewards, you get slightly more standing, you get slightly larger bonuses, and if you're earning endo from the reward, you'll get like 100 more endo. Personally, I did try it, I went solo and I completed it, it just took more time, so I just stuck with the advanced version. And players can select their rewards through the Operational Supply Syndicate. This happens to be with Nakak at Cystoliths, and it's only available during Operation Plague Star. And this syndicate has its own rank system. There are 3 ranks to rank up. Here is what you need to unlock all of this good stuff. And you can spend your standing as well as credits in most instances on the items here. Some are limited, but some are endless, like the former, pre-built former. This is why people are going crazy. This is one of the reasons that people are going crazy getting standing from this mission. There is no daily standing cap. DOJO said it, so you can just keep going. That was in the Warframe Discord if you're wondering where I found this message. Anyway, so that's why people, as my beloved Tarnish said from my Discord, are doing this. That's right, it kind of feels like they're trying to do the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs. It made me laugh so much because that's the vibe, like it's insane. However, there's another reason, not just the delicious free built formers, but we need the hemocyte Cystoliths, and only 4 drop from each mission. Resource boosters don't help, nothing helps boost them up, and you only get a max of 4 per mission whether you're doing advanced or steel path. And we need those to complete our beloved DOJO decorations. And for our clan, which happens to be a storm clan, there is a multiplier basically on how many you need depending on the size of your clan. It's the same with everything that you build in your dojos if you didn't know. So I have the 4 trophies up already. We have the terracotta, the bronze, the silver and the gold. All together, all in for my storm clan, we need 1,850, I believe. Yeah, that is, if you divide it by 4, which is how many you get per mission, that is 460-ish runs of that mission. Now, because it is I think there's 100 members in my clan maximum. We don't have 100 members, say there's like 60 to 70. We then have to think about how many runs everybody possibly should do to donate. We're not that strict a clan, but I know some clans out there are going to be desperate to get their hemocyte Cystoliths up and running. Now, if you're not sure, go to your clan dojo contribution vault, the little golden version of the trading center, and just donate your hemocyte Cystoliths. Just type it into the search bar there. And then you have to confirm that you want to donate it, because you cannot get anything back once you've donated it to your clan dojo at all. There's no recompensing, I'm afraid. And then the person, i.e. me in this occasion, can go to their decorations and use the clan dojo contributions. We've got 61 here. Thank you to whoever donated that. I could probably have a little look in the logs. I'm guessing it's Miss Rosie or the Mariner or somebody. I'm not sure. Yeah, but then we can start building our trophies, and then we have, you know, the bragging rights, the running the Kessel running 12 parsecs bragging rights. Just saying. So get to it. So just before we get into the bounty itself and then my builds, I just wanted to show you in the settings here under accessibility, I changed my character highlight settings. This is because when you're out on the plains of Eidolon, even if you have like a enemy radar mod somewhere, they're actually really hard to see sometimes on the actual planes when you're doing the drone, etc., if you're in the air. So I made my enemies bright red so I can actually see them really, really clearly, even when I'm flying around in the air or in my Archwing, or there's another Warframe. It just really helped visually. And yes, I have my allies highlighted white, because if I'm dropping out my helpy helpetons from the gear wheel, it also helps me see them. Now, during the duration of the Plague Star event, the boil will always be here out on the plains of Eidolon, whether you're wanting to do the bounty or not. So I came out here without doing the bounty, and I went to the boil and I just marked it up with a lock pin that you can build, and it's a permanent marker for open worlds. You can get rid of them after. It's just I'm always aware of where that boil is. Now, this is the first phase of the bounty. So the bounty is divided into 4 phases. The first phase, people have to go into a cave. You need to raid the Grineer's Thrax toxin storage. So the cave will be a randomized one out on the plains of Eidolon, and the toxic storage unit is marked with a yellow marker. So it's up to you to get down there and back really quickly. Now, this is where Nova comes in useful with her portals, because you can just portal your way straight back out of the cave if you put them in the right places. Obviously, sometimes it just doesn't work, and other times it does. In extreme cases, some people are modding with the dragon keys in order to have very low health and shields, and they will just die. They'll die in the cave, and I don't know how they work it, but they'll respawn back outside the cave. And by the way, if you come as Titania and you fly down here, you cannot then fly back as a fairy with this toxin. You can only use your Archwing at that point, otherwise she'll drop it and you'll end up crying. Okay, and I always waypoint the entrance in case I get lost, so you know it's a bit quicker to come back out. There are much quicker ways of doing it, but as you can see, Nova brought me straight back up to the top, and I was like, oh, we're right back out here. That's fine. That saves some time. You know, you can slingshot as your operator, whatever you can do to get out of that cave quicker and save some time. And on the second phase, now that you've got your Thrax toxin, you head to an armoured vault that's marked up with a little yellow marker, open it up and then shove your toxin in. Once it's in, you then basically have to do a 3-minute defence from Grineer troops. However, at night time for me, this is actually bugged out, but I'm not complaining because it literally meant I had nothing to kill. Now that means you're not keeping up your buffs on your weapons, but like, so what? It was fine. I'd rather actually have something to kill to actually kill the 3-minute period. And it didn't always bug out, but you know, as long as you're just running around and killing as much stuff as you can pop your necromech out, whatever. And if you're in a squad, honestly, this bit is so easy. And once the toxin is mixed, you grab the next canister and you head over to a Grineer drone. And by the way, just keep an eye out for that yellow marker because it literally marks the drones. If it disappears as you get closer, it will, if you can just eyeball it, you'll be able to see exactly where that drone is, even though the marker disappears when you get close. I know, it's like they're cheating. And because we're escorting a drone, you do get a standing boost if you can keep its health above 80%. Hence why getting the drone to the boil quicker can matter. So if you have a vault in your group, brilliant. The vault speed boost will make the drone absolutely whiz to that point. You can use Wisp's haste mote, that will also speed it up. As you can see, I've been using Nova's portals. If you can line it up, sometimes I miss. If you can line it up with the drone's path, it'll just super speedily boost it along a little bit, and it just helps. And it also helps speed up the whole mission because the next phase is basically 4 boss fights. Yay! And I'm going to go over the builds after we just talk about this boss fight. So when the drone reaches the boil, it responds by spawning infested to defend itself. You must thin out the infested horde while the toxin poisons the boil, with a percentage gauge denoting the progress. Try not to destroy the pods that are spawning in, because this will slow down the spawn-ins of the infested that you need to kill. It slows the entire mission down. So if you get told off in the comments in the chat, there's a reason. If you're killing everything, including those pods, people are going to get mad with you. Okay, I'm just saying. Now, the selected mission changes the difficulty of this phase. So if you do the tier 1 bounty, it spawns only the infested horde defending the boil. You don't get any boss fights at all, because you're kind of just earning the stuff that you need to build the Eidolon Phalanxis etc blueprints at this point. Tier 2, which is this advanced bounty, spawns a Hemocyte to defend the boil at every 25% interval to a total of 4 Hemocytes, along with the infested hordes. You will also fight the 4 bosses. There are no shortcuts. Each boss drops a Hemocyte. Cystolith, we discussed this a moment ago in resource boosters, as I mentioned, do not increase the drops of those specific items. Tier 3, which is the advanced steel path, is exactly the same as tier 2, but everything is increased in difficulty. It has steel path modifiers on it, so you know, have fun with that. And once the gauge reaches 100%, that means you've taken down 4 of these giant Lephantis type bosses. The bounty is completed, awarding a variable amount of standing based on the selected mission difficulty, and players are free to remain on the plains if you so want, or return to Cetus, or visit a bounty tent to undertake the mission again. Now, it has bugged out in the past and you've lost progress, so I would always recommend going back in. I know it can be tedious. People have recommended leaving your necromech at the doors of Cetus to save 5 seconds to get back in. These are for people that are trying to speedrun it in sort of 5 to 7 minutes or less. Don't worry about those people. If you're in a public squad, just do your best, okay? If you're soloing it, then it really doesn't matter. That's your own time invested, isn't it? And I have been soloing this only because there's no other way to find out whether your weapons are actually doing any damage if you're that interested in it, other than doing it solo. So that's what I've been doing to make this video. Hold me, I need your support. Now, I'm going to show you my builds. I've got a couple that I worked on. They're not meta builds. I'm not a meta player. I know I'm a legendary 4, but this channel is not about the meta. Yes, some items are meta, but I don't really understand how they expect everybody to have all of the meta stuff and all of the meta mods and all of the meta builds to do this stuff. So it is really, really hard to do it if you don't understand the Hemocyte. So I'm here to tell you, don't worry, you're not alone with that. I'm a legendary 4 and I've struggled, okay? But the most important bit of information you need is that it needs to be armor stripped. Otherwise, you will be here until next Christmas. So, armor stripping can be incorporated into your weapons. This is why they've been banging on about the Vastalock with the Shattering Impact mod. This strips armor when impact damage is applied to the enemy. Very kind, wonderful. However, some of us, me, don't have that weapon. So how else can we do it? Well, put corrosive into your build somewhere and keep whacking the Hemocyte with it until you see the armor deplete. Now, the armor depleting is really, really important. Otherwise, you'll go insane. Bit like what I did. Now, you can armor strip using abilities like Pillage or Terrify. You might have to have a few goes at it. You, like I mentioned, can put corrosive onto your build and just keep whacking at it until that orange shield depletes. However, the easiest go-to for me, and I have to thank CK Wolf on Discord, my Discord, for this reminder, is the Focus School of Uneru. Once leveled up, the second ability, once you pop it near the Hemocyte, gives it 100% armor strip. Pop, poof, and the armor be gone. And now I've slowed this footage down slightly. As you can see, we have the silver bar with the orange shield. We pop out as our operator stroke drifter. We pop that second ability on the Uneru Focus School. And as you saw, it completely wiped off the armor. Now, I've done this before with Pillage, and that little orange shield depleted, but not fully. So it took a few goes. You can deplete armor slowly, or you can do it in a one-er. Obviously, time constraints. If you're trying to go quicker, you want to do it in a one-er. You only have to do it once per Hemocyte, and then you are free. As you can see, these little bars of health on the heads are all red now. They're not orange. Before you strip the armor off, they are orange, and you're doing less damage. Now we're doing direct damage, and let's talk about the direct damage for a moment, shall we? So regardless of the weapons that you choose, and obviously there are meta options, we really want to be thinking about using a shotgun as the primary, because the Hematite boss has a damage cap per projectile. So a fast firing high pellet shotgun is ideal. Mods that boost status effects are ineffective against the Hematite as it is immune to them. Yay! So we want things like core damage mods, which is point blank or primed point blank, that increases base damage. We have Hell's Chamber or galvanized hell, that boosts multi-shot, which is critical for maximizing damage against the Hematite's per pellet cap. We have mods like Blaze, which provides a combined boost of heat damage and base damage. And then we have things like Hunter Munitions, that adds a chance for slash status effect on critical hits. So while status effects don't work on the Hematite, the slash damage type is effective against it. And then we want things like critical mods. So critical deceleration increases crit chance at the cost of fire rate. This is best used on weapons with an already high fire rate to balance that penalty. And then we want Ravage, primed Ravage, that increases critical damage. And then elemental mods. So elemental choices depend on whether you or your team is stripping the Hematite's armor. So corrosive is for stripping armor. That obviously is a combination of electric and toxin mods. Heat, if you're not stripping the armor, is a major weakness for the Hematite. If you didn't know, heat and slash damage. I think blast maybe as well. So blaze and incendiary coat, very good for heat. And then we have the utility and quality of life mod. So I think shotgun spaz or shotgun barrage increases fire rate. Fire rate helps counter the Hematite's per hit damage cap. And then we have Seeking Fury, which offers punch through and reload speed. The punch through is especially useful for hitting multiple enemy weak spots. Now you don't have to put all of these in, but it's worth noting that the Hematite is immune to status effects. So mods like the 60/60 elemental mods should only be used for the base elemental damage they provide, not for the status chance. We're not worried about status chance here. And if you're in a team, you think about team synergy. So if your teammate is running an armor stripping melee weapon like the Vastalok with Shattering Impact, you should mod your shotgun for corrosive or heat damage, because you don't need to worry about armor stripping. You don't even need to worry about taking Inari, but you just don't know who's going to be in your squad unless you come to my Discord and you plan a squad in advance. So one can be speed running the drone, one can be speed running getting the pod from the cave, one can be stripping the armor while everyone else is being healed by someone else. Do you know what I mean? You can work together as a team. I know, bonkers. And so I'll just quickly show you my final build. I used Nova Prime. Originally I had Pillage on her second, but I changed it out for Raw when I realised I could armour strip with the Uneru Focus Skull. And I did put some corrosive in my weapons just in cases, you know. So that's the Nova Prime build. And the main weapon that I used was the Cedo Prime. So as I mentioned, I grind out a lot of different weapons, and I landed on the Cedo Prime because the Boar Prime, I don't have the Incarnon for it. People are saying you don't need it to be Incarnoned, but the Incarnon being added to it does increase, I think, like reload speed or something like fire rate. I can't remember. So my Boar Prime, when I trialed it, just didn't do as well for some reason. Maybe I just haven't modded it correctly. Who knows? But like I said, I am not a meta player. This is not one-shotting stuff. But solo, even on Steel Path, I was able to take the enemy down. It took a while. It wasn't a speed run by any means, but I was able to kill things with it, including the 3 heads. And for my secondary, I trialed so many different ones. I did. I was even gifted the Piranha Prime, which is the meta for the Plague Star, if you didn't know, by our beloved Cyberus Punk from Discord. Thank you so much. I have used it, but I haven't ranked it up and I haven't perfected it yet. So I will do a separate video for the meta weapons if I get hold of them for the Plague Star. But honestly, once I've sorted it all out, the Plague Star event's going to be over anyway. But we can always get ready for the next time, right? And like I mentioned, I mean, I even used the Ocucore at one point. With the special mod. I've done a whole Steel Path video on secondaries if you want to go and check that out. And I took my Redeemer, rightly or wrongly, because it has the Shattering Impact mod. I don't have the Vastalok, which I assume is like going to spread more status and impact damage or something. I don't know. But I found myself not using this because I didn't need it for armor stripping. As we saw, I used the Uneru Focus Skull. And I'm just showing you my Titania build, which I put Raw on her third, because like I said, we've got the Uneru School of Focus to strip the armor. Now, these are solo builds, essentially. If I was in a squad, I'd be tempted more to take things like Volt or Wisp, so we can speed along and someone else can like look after me and my health if I die or something. I mean, it's not ideal to be rezzed in the middle of a Plague Star event anywhere but right next to the boil. That would be really bad because of the toxin clouds. Anyway, I'm just showing you the Dex Pixia Prime. I had a couple of goes at modding it, and I added a lot of slash and impact and heat because I know that the Hemocyte is weak to those, and it still didn't one-shot them. But even on solo, I did okay. I was doing like between 15 and 20 minute runs. I know that's not really speedy. I know you can do it literally in half the time, even less than that. But this was solo, and I don't have the melty builds. So what are you going to do? And I'm just showing you the two companions that I took. I took my Nautilus. I actually preferred my Nautilus because of the Cordon mod, just grouping the enemies together to make killing them really, really easy. And I took the Sweeper Prime because I didn't want to take the normal Verglass because I didn't want any cold damage. No cold damage at all, because I didn't really want to accidentally slow the Hemocyte down. If I want to slow it down, I want to do it using Nova's ability so that I've got more time to shoot it in its ugly little faces. And I also trialed the Worm, and I only trialed the Worm because I happened to see it in someone else's video and I wasn't really sure why I was using it. People were using the Synth Deconstruct and Synth Fiber mods, and also the Sacrifice mod. So I'm guessing it keeps you alive when you go down, but I wasn't really sure. I wasn't paying that much attention. I do have a real life job and I've only got so much time. So what I wanted to do was just be able to complete this Plague Star by myself solo with my weapons and see what damage I'm doing. However, I really do recommend that you go in a squad because it just makes life so much easier, and you know those meta players are going to be melting them in the faces in literal seconds. So there you go. Speed seems to be of the essence, and armor stripping this behemoth before you start pew-pewing it in the face. I enjoyed using Titania. She was zippy and speedy and awesome in every way. Just need to work on her guns to get some more damage going on, but it wasn't too shabby. And Nova really was the queen for me. She's so tanky. Nothing took her down. I think she died once on the Steel Path version of this. I have completed it solo Steel Path. Okay, guys, I must be insane because I'm not there yet. I'm not actually there. But the pressure I felt to make this video was intense because obviously every other YouTuber and their grandma is making a video on the Plague Star at the moment. But I wanted to keep it real. I'm not saying those meta bros don't like have a very valid point on what they're trying to do, and I have learned a lot from them, so I'm not being defamatory. I don't mean to be dismissive and rude about them. That's not the vibe here. I'm not like that. I am very cynical, but I'm not like that about my fellow YouTubers. But I just felt a bit frustrated because it's like, well, what if you don't have all that stuff? What then? So it's basically suck it up, do what you can, and probably go in a public squad. And as I've mentioned, I have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing Discord growing of a lot of Warframers. Yes, it's not a Warframe only Discord. It's just a Discord for gamers to get together and chitty chat and have a bit of banter and laughs and lols along the way. We have like a place for mental health matters as well if you're having a tough time of it. So you can just come and vent about your problems with no judging. And sometimes you'll even get a little bit of advice and help. You know, I just wanted to make a nice, happy place for as many people as possible. You can't please everyone on the internet. No. But what are you thinking of the Plague Star? How's your clan doing? If you don't have a clan and you want to partake, please hit us up in the Discord. The link is on my channel. And we are happy to accept new clan members, especially if you want to come and run some of these with us. I'll see what I can do. I'm not always free to do runs, but you know, we'll get there. Anyway, my darlings, I'm going to see you off right now by saying thank you so much to those lovely Discordians. Cyberus, Wolf, Tarnish, Miss Rosie. I mean, we've got new people like with really crazy names like Yeet, Cookie. And just to name a few, there are so many hanging out in that Discord. I will start naming you more in my videos because they make it such a wonderful, happy, chilled out, funny place to be. If you're having a bad day, they will always cheer you up and They've always seemed to got my back just when I need them the most. They don't realise it. They support me. They gift me stuff when I'm struggling, and it makes me a bit emotional, and they're incredibly generous. So please come and join. And I want to thank all of my YouTube members who are paying their hard-earned money to get access to my videos earlier and supporting me at the same time. And 3 of my fellow YouTube members and gamers are about to wave goodbye to you. So my darlings, without further ado, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really do hope to see you again in the next one, no matter what it may be. But in the meantime, you take care now, and from the 4 of us, goodbye.